Well, yes, as you can see, back at the castle. I was only here yesterday. I was doing a time lapse. I was amazed at the amount of tourists because I hung about. I was here for an hour, and there was a load of tourists coming and going. And there were a lot were looking at this house here, that one there, and they were probably thinking, well, that's where Henry Morton Stanley was born. But he wasn't born there. That's what a lot of people think. He grew up there, but he wasn't born there. I'll show you where he was born. Henry Morton Stanley, the famous Dr. Livingstone, I presume. As I say, they were all crowded around there. There was about 10 tourists, and you're probably thinking, oh, that's where Henry Morton Stanley was born. But he wasn't. He grew up there. He was actually born just here. There's the castle there, just the side there, and that area there, that's where the house was. And if you look closely, there's a bit of a clue. Hope you can hear me. Oh, it's windy again, but there's a sign there, see? Henry Morton Stanley, born near here, which was there. And that's where he was born, and he grew up in that house the other side there. Anyway, I'm not bothering with the castle today. I'm headed for the Mental. And just a bit low down from the castle there, that's where the escapees, which I've talked about. I'm going to talk about a few subjects in this video, which I've covered quite a few times, but that's where the escapees, that's the ledge they used to stand on. The escapees from the Mental. Quite sad, really. Threatening to jump. They used to have the negotiators, and these trees and stuff all went here then, and as kids we used to come running up Love Lane. We used to sit on the wall there and we used to watch what was going on, because they did used to have quite a few of the patients used to escape, and that's where they used to go and threaten to jump off. Yeah, like I say, I'm going to talk about a few things I have covered in my videos, but it's mostly because I've had a heck of a lot of new subscribers, and they're saying, oh, we want more, we want do this, do that and stuff, so that's what I'm going to talk about. But if you're a regular, you will have heard me talk about this before, but you probably find it interesting. Anyway, head to the Mental. It's the top of Love Lane, heads down, and just round that corner at the bottom of the road there, the Mental will come into view. Right. Mental, camera, record, equals car. Now it's all quiet. I've just started recording. I just wait for the car. It's a scientific fact. Usually never fails. Anyway, as you can see, there's the Mental. Now I'm going to talk about the chimney, famous landmark. You could be miles around, and if you look towards the Mental, the first thing you would see, oh, it's wind, I tell you. If it's not cars, it's wind. You would see the chimney, and I'll show you where you would see it from here now. The chimney would be there. Maybe 100-foot chimney. And I hope you can hear me, this flaming wind. They used to burn something like 3,000 tons of coal a year. They used to have a standing stock of about 300 ton. And they used to have a team, no car, that's unusual. They used to have a team of patients, because a lot of patients, they did just have jobs, and they had a team of patients. What they used to do is chip the coal to the correct size so it would fit into the boilers. But yeah, that's where you would see the chimney. It'd be way up there. You wouldn't miss it. As I say, if you were, the surrounding hills, and you'd look towards the Mental, there's security. There we go. You see, you think the go down to the bottom gates. There we go. And you think that all the bottom gates will be all unlocked, and you think no one's in there, but they are in there on a weekend. Security. Jones Brothers. Let's have another look. Possibly might give us a wave. Here's the car, a bit late, but anyway. So there's Jones Brothers Security. yeah, I'll head down to the front gate and I'll go down to the gate. Well, the entrance that they're using. It's going to be one of the entrances that they're going to be using when and if they convert this place. 300 houses, business units, a shop, perhaps a pub, and a bowling green. Ah, this wind, it might be not too bad when I get down the bottom there. But anyway, yeah, you can see there, there is security in the grounds now. Give us a wave! Anyway, I head down to the what was the main gate, and then I'll get that down to, you couldn't see the chimney from the main gate, perhaps you might see just the tip of it, and I'll head to the entrance that they're using now, and I'll show you where you would see the chimney. Yeah, it was something like 3,000 tons of coal, and I'll show you what they used to do with the cinders. Now if you're a regular, you know what I'm going to say, but like I said, it's for a lot of new subscribers that I've been getting, and a fresh interest on the mental. 20 plus years I've been documenting the mental. I'll say it once, I'll say it again. I ain't giving up anytime soon. I will carry on. Right, I headed down to the what was the main entrance. Okay, less wind down here, hopefully. So yeah, this was in the days the hospital was up and running. This was the main way in and out. There was only 2 ways in. Well, potentially 3 off the cinder track, which I will talk about in a minute. But yeah, it's the giant Lego bricks, as I call them. So yeah, this was the main way in and out. And there's the front gates, the drive heading up. Ah, talk about wind. Anyway, before they built the chapel way at the back, the chapel was up in the top there. It was above the front door. That's where the original chapel was, but it wasn't big enough. So then later they built a chapel right at the far end, the other side of the morgue. So that's where the original chapel was, just above the front door. See the front door there? That's the front door in there. And the chapel was just above it, and they had offices either side. And that's where I witnessed a patient dying. Came out of the door there. I was, well, we used to, from Lovelane Garage, we used to run a taxi service. We were the only taxi service in Denbigh. And my mother jumped in the taxi. I said, oh, can I come up for the ride? She says, yeah. We pulled up in the front there. And my mother went in to find the fare, and this patient came out in his dressing gown, slippers and what have you, shaved head, and he stood on the top of the stairs there, and he looked down at me, and he attempted to walk down the steps, and he fell, bang, right on his front of his face, and I was the only one that witnessed it. Then there was no one around. Then next minute a few doctors and stuff came out, and there was a big crowd around him. Anyway, we left, and then we found out the next day that as soon as he hit them steps, that he died instantly. And I always remember it. I will never forget that. And I was the only one that witnessed it. So anyway, that was the main way in and out of the and there's also, if they ever get it up and running, there's going to be another entrance there to the so-called housing estate that they're going to build. 300 houses, if it happens. Who knows? It's been like this now for years. Anyway, I'll head now to the entrance that they're using now, that Jones Brothers have knocked the wall away. And that's the entrance that they're using now. And when I'm passing now, on my left, this was the farm. This was the mental farm. And I'll show you the sign. It was a self-contained, they used to have their own farm, they used to grow their own food, they used to have carpenters, tailors, even hairdressers. They used to shave the patients, bakers, cooks, everything. It was all self-contained, and this was the farm. There's the sign there, Pennant's Farm and Building. But that wasn't the original name. It wasn't originally called, when the hospital was up and running, it wasn't called Pennant Farm, And off the top of my head, I can't remember what it was called, but it wasn't called Pennant Farm. It was called, that Pennant Farm came later. But I do apologise. I am a sort of Wikipedia on the mental, but I can't remember what it was called before Pennant Farm. When the hospital was up and running, that's the name that came after Pennant Farm. So anyway, this is the entrance that they're using now. This is Jones Brothers knocked the wall through and tarmacked it. And it'll probably be shut, the gates will be shut. And there's a bit less wind down here too. Hopefully, wind and cameras are not a good combination. But anyway, this is the entrance now that they're going to use. And this is going to be one of the entrances that they're going to use, I say if and when. Jones Brothers, I don't know if there's anyone in that van. But anyway, as you can see, it's all locked up. But don't be deceived, because they are in the grounds, and if they want to come and have a chat, they're more than welcome. But yeah, from here now, where you would see the chimney would be roughly there. It would be like that, it would be sticking up like that. You couldn't miss it. As I say, from a radius of a few miles around, if you look towards the mental, that's what you'd see, it was the chimney. And don't think there's anyone in that pick up anyway, but don't be deceived. As I say, you're looking now and it seems all quiet, but they are in the grounds. And there, that bit, if I can zoom in, where are we now then? Right there, that's the canteen, or what was the canteen. And just by there, just up there in them trees, a couple of 100 yards, was the chapel. And just to the left, just by there, where that is there, that, well, more or less, yeah, roughly where that is, that staging, whatever it is they put up there, that's where there was a massive incinerator there. That's where they used to burn all the cardboard, paper and what have you. And yeah, as I was saying, the coal, you said 3,000 tons of coal, something like that, and they used to have a standing stock of 300 tons of coal. And of course they had waste in there, they had cinders, and I'll show you now what they used to do with the waste cinder. Just running alongside here is a track. Now then, if you're a regular, you'll know what I'm going to say. But like I said, this is mainly for new subscribers and people are saying, oh, we want more, so I'm always happy to oblige. So yeah, anyway, I've entered in this track and it runs alongside the mental, or the grounds of the mental. And what they used to do with the waste cinders, they used to come to this track and they used to tip it onto the track, and also down the bank, they used to chuck it down the bank as well. And there were black cinders all the way down this track here, and that's how it's got its name, the cinder track. That's what it's called. Obviously it's not today, but when we were kids we used to spend a lot of time. There's a pavilion, a rugby and cricket. I said rocket then, didn't I? A rugby pavilion and a cricket pavilion. And we used to come down here. Sometimes we used to walk down here, sometimes we used to come on our bikes. Sometimes, most of the time, we used to come through the grounds of the mental and join it. I'll show you where we used to join it. And it used to be thick. All this track used to be about 4 or 5 inches thick of cinders. You used to walk down, it used to be black. And you'd walk down it and you'd be crunching. Because that's what they used to do. They used to empty all the old cinders on this track and also down the bank. And that's why it's called the cinder track. And that's what we used to do, used to come along here on our bikes or whatever. Actually, sometimes we had to get off the bikes and push them because you couldn't cycle through it. It was hard to cycle through, it was that thick with the cinders. It used to make a crunching sound. But I'll show you where we used to come when we used to cut through the mental to make our way down to the pavilion, which is a bit further just around this corner here. But like I say, all this used to be black and thick. It used to be 4 or 5 inches thick of cinders, and you used to chuck them over the bank as well. And that's why it's called the cinder track. And yes, it is haunted. It's supposed to be haunted by an old man. There's quite a few have seen him. Whether he is connected to the mental or not, no one seems to know. But I've caught like apparitions who have been sealing off the ways in and stuff. But I've caught apparitions and orbs and stuff like that. But I've never actually seen the old man, but apparently he is haunted. I was going to stop this, but I may as well just carry on nattering until I show you where we used to come down with on our bikes, or sometimes we used to walk through. But it's sealed off today. So yeah, that's where I used to chuck them down there as well. The old cinders, a lot of it was, like I say, was all on this track. It used to be black. Oh, I'll switch this off, it's a bit of way to go. I'll get back to you in a minute. Right, there's a new sign. Strictly no trespassing, dangerous structures and building containing asbestos. It is not worth going in now anyway. I've never encouraged anyone to enter the grounds. I never have done, and I never will do. But yeah, this wasn't here when we were kids. We used to come. It's all overgrown now, but canteen is roughly there. We used to come down here. We used to pass the chimney. We used to pass the orchard. We might pop over the wall and get some apples, and then we'd pass the nurse's home, past Maylate, past the chimney, come round the canteen, and we used to come down here on our bikes or whatever, round the corner there, drop down there, and then on the left, just at the bottom there's the big cricket grounds here and the rugby grounds that side, and there's a big pavilion there. We spend a lot of time down there. That's the way we used to come. Quite often, as I say, we used to come through the grounds more than we used to walk along the cinder track because it was quicker. So that's it. That's all I've got to do for this video. So yeah, thanks, cheers for the new subscribers, and yeah, watch this space. 20 plus years documenting the mental, and I ain't gonna stop anytime soon. See, they've gone now. Well, gone from that place. They'll be driving round. Oh, here comes the car. Yeah, so you can see that Jones Brothers, there was someone in it. It wasn't just left there. They'll be driving round, checking for trespassers, but I've said it now for years. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Watch my videos if you want to see what it was like. If you want to see what it was like now. I was in the ground not that long ago, but it's in a hell of a mess. It's seriously dangerous. It's horrendously dangerous. It's just not worth it. It's absolutely fallen to bits, and as I say, you know, you may come here on Saturday and Sunday and see the gates locked, which I've just shown you now, and you think, oh, there's no one in there, but they're in there, and you'll get caught. It's not worth it. It's just such a hell of a mess. The only buildings they're going to save are the front buildings. Everything else is going to get demolished. I don't know about the chapel. You know, I don't know about that. They may preserve the chapel, I'm not sure, but everything else is going. They were going to save the nurses' home and the isolation ward, or isolation hospital, and the Allied ward, and I think 7A, 7B and 8 wards. Quite a few wards they were going to save, but it's changed now. It's all going to go, and they're just going to 22 dwellings, they call them, so I presume it'd be flats at the front there. 300 houses, probably business units, maybe a pub, shops, and the bowling green are going to move here. What's that up there? Thought there was a bit of movement then behind the nurses' home, but no, the nurses' home, the roof's gone on that now, so that'll be collapsing soon. So yeah, it's not worth it. I've never ever encouraged anyone to enter the grounds. I used to get a lot of people, and I still do, but not as it used to be. I get a lot of people sending me messages and stuff like that. What's the security like? And where's the morgue? That's one of the favourites. I tell you, where's the morgue? But it's not as bad as it used to be. I used to get messages all the time, but as I say, I never ever have encouraged anyone to enter the grounds of the hospital. Never. And especially now, you know, my advice is don't bother even coming here to have a look at it. Watch my videos if you want to see what it's like. You know, years ago, 20 plus years. I've said it once and say it again. I've been documenting the mental for 20 plus years, and I ain't gonna stop anytime soon. Right, I'm going. This wind is terrible. Right, I'm going.